Hi there, welcome back to Football-Oranje. It's time for something a little bit different today. We're going to be talking about some Netherlands memories with Abdul here. Abdul is a writer and a novelist over in Kuwait. He's very well known for his books in Arabic language, but more than that, he's also the vice head of a Netherlands fan group in Kuwait, officially recognised by the Dutch KNVB. We're going to be talking about a lot of Netherlands memories of Abdul and much more. Abdul, would you just like to fill everybody in on who you are?
Yes, thank you, Michael, for this introduction. My name is Abdul Alrifaee, but of course you can call me Abdul Alrifaee. I'm a writer and a novelist. I have published 24 books, mostly science fiction and psychological thrillers. I've been a writer and a novelist since 1999. That's all I can say about myself. And of course, I'm a huge fan of the Netherlands and the Dutch clubs in general.
It's brilliant that there's so many Dutch football fans across the world. I mean, you're in Kuwait, I'm in the United Kingdom. We're not Dutch, and yet we love the Netherlands because of many different reasons. What is yours, and what was like your earliest Netherlands memory, if you like?
Yeah, the earliest memory was probably in 1982. I was only 9 years old. I read an article in the newspapers in Kuwait about the World Cup 1982, talking about the teams that are participating and mentioning the Netherlands, saying that, you know, they made it to 2 straight finals, but they weren't lucky enough. They lost. So I felt sorry for the team at that time. You know, I was only 9 years old, reading about a team that made it to the final twice, 74, 78, and they did not win it. So I felt bad for them, and not even qualifying for 82. So I kind of felt bad for the team, and I carried this memory with me until 1988, actually. Also, before 1988, Euro 88 started, I also read in the newspapers about Holland participating in a major tournament for the first time after 78 with many good players. It was the first time I read the names Ruud Gullit, Van Basten, Frank Rijkaard, and how good they are when they play together. So I decided to follow them in that tournament. Of course, the first match against Soviet Union, where Holland lost 1-0. If anyone watched this match, Holland was completely dominating, but unfortunately, Soviet Union scored a goal and they won that match. So I even felt worse for the team. I felt really bad for them. I decided to support them the entire tournament until, of course, they won it. Since then, Holland became my passion. That's all I can say about it.
I mean, for me, it was the 2010 World Cup, and since then I've been hooked. And there are many Dutch football fans who watch what we do at Football-Oranje because we are an English language source. Not everyone speaks Dutch, of course.
Yes.
And since then, you know, I've been a fan of the Netherlands, and you've been a fan of the Netherlands. But what is it like for you being a Netherlands fan outside of the Netherlands? Is it a strange feeling? Do you get asked about it very much?
Yeah, because usually people from younger generation, they don't support national teams. They usually support clubs. For example, we have too many fans of Barcelona, Real Madrid, Manchester United, Manchester City, you name it. But you don't see too many fans for national teams, especially for the Netherlands, where unfortunately we don't really have a rich history of champions, you know, or of championships. Sorry. So yes, we are not too many, but luckily, when we formed the Orania fan club in Kuwait, it's more than 55 people. So I think this is good to have 55 fans where we gather in all the matches that we can gather for.
Do you know, it would be great if people that are watching this on YouTube can drop below a comment about how they got into the Netherlands, why they support the national team, or why they're just into the Dutch league in general. Because we're both people just like you. Perhaps if you're, I don't know, American, if you're Australian, if you're Indonesian. I know a lot of people who follow us, what we do, who are from these countries. But you lead a fan group in Kuwait. What kind of things do you do together, and why are you also recognised by the Dutch KNVB? Because that's like must be amazing, the fact that you're recognised by the
Oh,
Holland
yes.
themselves.
Well, it happened actually months before 2014. Through a very famous website, a very famous forum, actually, where there's a section for the Oranje fans. And someone presented this idea, to gather during the 2014 World Cups. So I found out that this person was from Kuwait. So I agreed with him, and some other fans from Kuwait also agreed with him. So we exchanged our phone numbers by that time, and that's how it started. Of course, only a few months before 2014 World Cup started, we decided to email the Dutch embassy of Kuwait and asked for a meeting. Luckily, they responded to our email, and we had an interview with them. We had a meeting with them, sorry. And we told them about our idea that we would like to gather all the Dutch fans in Kuwait to attend the matches for Holland in 2014 World Cup. So I think I sent you some pictures. We gathered so many of us, of course, the fans in Kuwait and some Dutch people who live in Kuwait. And we had really great time in 2014, from the first match against Spain all the way to the match against Brazil.
What a journey that must have been together, and as a fan group too. And I'm sure many people across the world will gather in groups, whether that's for their club or for their national team. And it's great that there's Dutch fans out there too in your country.
Yes,
But you've got to tell me. Go on.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, I forgot to add this also. We had some Dutch friends actually who live in the Netherlands. We asked them for the address of Ons Oranje, which is the official fan group of the national team, and we told them that we want our group to be recognized by KNVB. So they agreed. And and of course, after some emails, asking us a few questions about who we really are, they decided to give us these cards, these IDs. And so now everyone in Football-Oranje in Kuwait has this ID as an official fan, of Ons Oranje in Kuwait. So it was through Ons Oranje. They gave us this approval, actually.
So yeah, you're officially recognised by the Dutch KNVB. That's just very good indeed. I must ask you though, Abdul, over all of the years of watching the Netherlands, you must have a favourite memory.
The favorite memory, of course, is the match against Brazil in 2010, because I thought beating them was impossible, especially that we have so many fans of Brazil and Kuwait, and they always look down on us. They always believe their team is much more superior than Holland. Some of them, even before the match, they were telling us not to be sad if we lose with more than a 3-goal difference. They were even, yeah, exactly. So I was watching the match hopeless. I did not expect anything, especially after the first half, where they completely dominating and winning 1-0. So what happened in the second half was like a miracle. This match is probably the best memory ever. And then, of course, the match against Spain. This match is unforgettable in 2014. One more match I would add, against Italy in 2008 also.
Did you get together to watch those matches?
We got together. No, actually, we got together from 2014 and after. So we
so
only
not for the 14 one.
Yeah, 2014, all the matches. Nations League, the final, which we unfortunately lost to Portugal. As usual, we always lose to Portugal. And of course, the matches in Euro 2020. We also gathered in these matches.
So you're not just a fan of the Dutch national team in general. You are also a fan of Dutch clubs in Europe. You watch them very closely. Whether that's PSV, Feyenoord, Ajax, you're there. Do you have any memories of Dutch clubs in Europe performing well?
Of course, the last memory is the best one when Feyenoord won UEFA Cup in 2002, because that year, of course, Holland did not qualify to the World Cup. So it was like a shock to me, really, especially where we had a very good team. And it was the first time Holland doesn't make it to a World Cup since I started supporting them in 1988. So, like Feyenoord winning UEFA Cup, it was like a lifeline, feeling that Dutch football will never die. We will always be there. So 2002, it was a very, very good experience for me. Of course, before that, 1995, that was the first time ever I watched a Dutch club closely, where I watched Ajax in the Champions League. But the latest one is, of course, 2002.
Over the years, they've disappointed but also amazed us Dutch football fans. In more recent times, there's been a bit of a dark period, I suppose, before this recent revival we're starting to see now, but it hasn't been a perfect revival at all. How have you been feeling over those dark years? I'm talking, Danny Blind, that kind of era, and Dutch clubs in Europe when they were really poorly performing. How did you get through that period, and did you ever see that the Netherlands would come out the other side?
The 2000, from the end of World Cup 2014 until Ronald Koeman took over, I think all fans were losing hope. I was just following your Twitter account, hoping to read something to cheer me up, actually. But nothing was promising. I did not know any names that could save us. No good players, no talents. Dutch clubs were declining big time. So it was really bad. It was bad times. I did not really like these years at all. But luckily, we are back. Luckily, new talents coming up, showing that Dutch football never dies. But I really hope we don't go through this again, waiting for 4 or 5 years, not winning anything, not even participating in major competitions. Really hope that doesn't happen again.
Dutch fans in general have been treated so much better over the years, haven't they? With the players and the managers they've got to enjoy, and I suppose that the youth talents were the only way out of the mess that they were in. Even with Blind playing Matthijs de Ligt at centre back when I think he was 17 or something. Even though that was a poor decision at the time, he's gone on to become an amazing player for Netherlands. So playing young players who are Dutch has always been the way. It has always been the thing that's drawn many people, such as myself, towards Dutch football. Tell me though, you must have some favourite players, some favourite managers over the years of teams that you've enjoyed watching.
Yes, my all-time 5 favorite Dutch players: Ruud Gullit, he's the master. Van Basten, Van Nistelrooy, Arjen Robben, and Van Dijk. These are my major 5 best Dutch players.
So Van Dijk even comes over Stam, and you haven't got Johan Cruyff in there. Is it because you didn't watch them, I suppose, so much?
Yeah, exactly. I did not watch Johan Cruyff, and unfortunately, Jaap Stam did not really serve the national team the way he could. In 1998, he did not really perform that well. He made so many mistakes. Of course, 2002 we did not qualify. 2004 we performed really bad. So the only good memory I have with him maybe in 2000, But for example, Arjen Robben, he served Oranje for over 14 years. Ruud Gullit and Van Basten, of course, it's the golden era. Van Nistelrooy, he was a top scorer in almost every tournament he participated. In 2004, he was our top scorer. In 2008, he performed very well, although he wasn't our top scorer. In 2006, he played 2 matches only, and he scored a goal. And because of the problems with him and Van Basten, I think Van Nistelrooy could have done a lot more for Oranje if it wasn't for the injury he had in 2000. And if he had maybe a coach that could understand the way he plays in 2006, yeah, that's all I can say about Van Nistelrooy.
Louis van Gaal's back as the Netherlands manager. He's becoming a bit of a legend of the Dutch game. Are you happy with seeing him back? You've obviously seen him in charge 2 times before as a Dutch fan. So
yeah.
Tell me what you think.
Of course, every fan of Orania hated him in 2002, where we had like one of the best teams in the world, and we could not even make it to the World Cup. Although I remember his statement when he took the job, saying that his aim is to win the World Cup, where he did not even qualify. So that was, of course, a shock. I did not like that. I hated him. Even when he took the job in 2014, I wasn't really sure how good we will play, especially that we did not really have any talents, except for maybe 3 or 4 players. But we were all surprised of the great performance against teams like Spain, Argentina, Brazil, where we did not even concede a single goal, except for a goal from a penalty from Spain. So at that time, I knew that he developed, maybe because it's like 10 years or 12 years between the two competitions. So hopefully he learned from the 2002 mistakes. And of course, now I'm happy he's taken over, because I think with Van Gaal, he performs much better with younger players. And we do have many younger players in this team. He usually fails when there are too many stars in the team. That's why he did not really do well with Manchester United, and maybe that's why he did not do well with Holland in 2002. He just cannot work with too many stars. He has a big ego. It's like a dinosaur,
Really interesting points on Van Gaal. I tend to agree in some ways with how he is better with younger players. And at the moment, there's so many young talents coming through, and players of a good age that he can mould into players that will want to play for him, because he has all this experience. I imagine you're happier with him than you were with Frank de Boer and the recent Euro 2020 exit.
Of course.
What were your thoughts on all of that?
About Frank de Boer, of course, I wasn't happy, but I was hoping that he learned from his mistakes, just like Van Gaal. Sometimes, because you just like a team so much, you like to lie yourself, you like to lie to yourself, believing that this team will perform better. And after the first match against Ukraine, of course, I wasn't really optimistic when I saw them making a comeback. I did not like his substitutions. I did not like his tactics, but I was just hoping we will perform better. Unfortunately, we were completely exposed against Czech Republic. It was the first time where we concede a goal and we are behind in the scoreline, and we saw how we were exposed. It was a total mess, really, in that match.
But Van Gaal is back, and the optimism has also returned. The World Cup isn't far away. How are you feeling about it? Do you feel like the Netherlands can do some damage at the competition? And will you also get together with your fan group in Kuwait for these matches coming up? Because COVID is, starting to fizzle away a little bit, and we can start to return to things we really enjoy doing. Is that something you've got in mind?
Yes, I'm actually planning to visit Qatar and stay an entire month there during the World Cup, because it's only like 45 minutes flying, so it's not really a big deal. And we are considering actually to travel there and to attend all the matches. Hopefully we qualify this time. I believe we can cause big damage to teams, especially that there are so many teams that are still in the building process, like Brazil, Argentina, Spain, all the big names, except for maybe Italy and France, where I see them really tough opponents. But with the talents we have, with the good mentality of Van Gaal we have, I think we can perform well in that World Cup, hopefully.
As usual, we lull ourselves into a false sense of security and hope that the Netherlands will do really well and win a major competition. But you never know, and you may be right. Under Van Gaal, it will be really different. He's going to be very regimented, isn't he? But Abdul, thank you very much for your time. And it really different things to hear from you. I imagine people who know you for your writing and your novels will be surprised perhaps, sorry, something in my throat, that you do these kind of thing.
No problem. Well, first, I would like to thank you for the interview. And it was the first time I kind of meet you face to face. So I'm really happy to do that. First time we talk. And it was really great to be in your channel. Please keep up the good work and say hello to Mike for me.
Will do. I'm sure he'll be watching. Thank you, Abdul. And if you are interested in seeing the writer side of Abdul, you can check that out in the description now, or leave a link to his Twitter, and you can see what he does day to day. Especially if you're a Dutch football fan who can speak Arabic, go and check out what Abdul does. I'm sure we have lots of worldwide fans who will do that, Abdul. Equally, if there's anyone new to this channel or our website in general, Football-Oranje, Dutch football news in English, Dutch national team, Eredivisie, we've got you covered. Anyway, do give it a like if you enjoyed this and subscribe if you're new. Abdul, thank you for your time.
Thank you. If I can just add one more thing, Michael, I forgot to mention the YouTube channel I established in 2009, where it has more than 250 matches and highlights for all the games that the Dutch national team played since the 70s. So maybe anybody can check that out. You can just write the Dutch national football team and they will find it.
I'll leave a link to that also in the description. Do send me a couple of links after this, Abdul. And yes, hope you've enjoyed this. Give it a like if you have. And share your memories down below too in the comments. How did you get into the Dutch national team? Because like us too, you might be an international Netherlands fan.
Thank you.